Okay, are we ready, guys? Do we have all of our ingredients and all of our equipment set? Fantastic. Have we washed our hands for 30 seconds? Yes, brilliant. Finally, let's get our apron on so that we can keep our clothes nice and clean. And also, guys, make sure you have a little bowl like this with a cloth. This is your bin bowl for all your skins and things like that. And this is a cloth to make sure your surface stays clean. Now, guys, I'm about to start. Good luck at home. Any questions you have, fire them through on the comments on YouTube. And then remember, please keep taking pictures when you can and tag us at @BiteBack2030 or hashtag #CookWithJack. Now, who likes to cook Bolognese? I love it. It's one of the most comforting, rewarding, delicious dishes, and that's what's on the menu for today's lunch. So to go through the ingredients first, then we'll start cooking. We've got loads of veg here today, guys. Onions, carrots, peppers, some garlic as well. And then we've got some lovely dry store ingredients too. Some passata, so tomatoes, and lovely lentils as well. Of course, we've got some pasta, we've got some cheese, and we've got some mince too. I've also got all my equipment ready. My board, my pan for cooking the bolognese, and a pot just behind me here for cooking my pasta. And then I've got other utensils like graters and sieves and things like this, all just to my side. So, are we ready, guys? Let's do this. Veggie bolognese, okay? The bolognese that we're going to cook today has lots of vegetables in it. It's a serving of 6 servings for 4 to 10-year-olds. So 6 portions we're going to make just here. We only need to use 1, of course, per person. So I'll show you what you can do with the rest later on. There's 3 steps to this. The first is cooking our vegetables. The second is adding our liquids, like our tomatoes and things like that. And then the first is adding our vegetables, the second is adding our mince, and the third is adding our liquids. 1, 2, 3. Really simple. So, let's start chopping. The first thing is our vegetables. So I have 4 ingredients that we need to chop. We need 3 carrots, but I've got such a big carrot just here that I'm using just this one. We need 1 pepper, 1 onion, or 3/4 of an onion we'll use, and also a clove of garlic. So not a whole bulb like this, just 1 clove. Now, how are your chopping skills, team? Chopping is obviously really important in the kitchen, but it's something you have to do with a great deal of care and attention, and make sure you're doing it with the supervision of an adult. It's really important, but it can be dangerous, so please take care. Start by getting a knife that you feel comfortable with, and as I say, make sure you have an adult supervising with you or working with you as you do this. The first thing we're going to chop is an onion, like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off the top of the onion, this bit just here. Get rid of it. So very carefully, just slice it off. Very, very carefully. Like that. And this, where does this go, team? This goes in a bin bowl. Yes. Now we're going to dice 3/4 of this onion, okay? So I want to chop it in half, first of all. And when you chop it in half, put it flat on a surface like this. Make sure it's flat so that it's stable. It's stable. It's not rocking. It's not moving. If any ingredient is rocking or moving, stop. Make sure it's stable. Then start chopping. To chop it in half, I'm making a bridge with my hand. See this bridge? Just like this. That's my bridge. And my knife is going in between the bridge, like that. In between the bridge and down through the onion. There we go. Lovely, guys. Very good job. Now we can peel the onion, okay? So take away that skin. There we go. Into your bin bowl. Take away this skin. Into our bin bowl. And always, guys, keep your board nice and clear, like mine. All the rubbish goes in the bin bowl. Anything you're not using goes out the way. Superb. Now, it's 3/4 of an onion that we're using today. So take one of your halves, like this. And this quarter, we're going to use later on in the week. So make sure you keep it safe, wrap it up, and keep it in your fridge until we use it later in the week. Now I'm going to show you how to dice an onion. We just need a rough dice. So all we're going to do is chop very carefully along the onion like this. And you see the little root here? That's really important. That's holding the onion together, making our lives easier. So very carefully, guys, just make little chops like this along the onion. And can you see what I'm doing with my hand that's holding the onion? My fingers are tucked in. They're not flat because then they're at risk of hitting the knife. They're tucked in. Make sure your fingers are tucked in and out the way of the knife. Fantastic. Okay, now the final bit to cutting this onion and making sure it's a nice dice is to do the same thing. But this time, we're going to cut down the onion like this, okay? And you'll see, as I do it, keeping my fingertips tucked in, I chop down like this. And what that gives me is a nice, wonderful dice of my onion. Look at that. Fantastic. Now, if yours is a bit chunkier than that, it's no problem. We're cooking this bolognese for 20 minutes, so they'll cook down. Now, I'm about to chop this final quarter of an onion, but I'm going to turn on my pan for the bolognese to a medium-high heat. Medium-high heat. I'm going to start to warm it up whilst I finish chopping my onion. Remember how we're chopping this, guys? We're chopping first along the onion and then this way, okay? Remember to keep your hands and your fingers nice and safe. There we go. This is how professionals do it in the kitchen, team. If you can master this, it's a great skill to have. Okie dokes. Right, now, this pan is starting to get warm. So, let's add some oil, and then I'm going to start cooking my onion while I chop the rest of my ingredients. So, what I need is a spoon, and I need some oil as well. And we're going to measure just 1 spoon of olive oil. And there we go. Fantastic. Now, guys, take your ingredients and add to your pan. Hear the sizzle? Fantastic. Add the rest. There we go. And what we're going to do is just keep stirring these nice and gently. And if it feels a bit hot, just turn them down to a medium-low heat. All we're looking for them is to gently soften. It doesn't need to be a high heat. Oh yes. Now, whilst they're cooking, let's move on to our pepper. If you're working with a friend, a family member, an adult, you can work together, okay? One person stirring now and again this pan, the other chopping. Work as a team if you can. With the pepper, remember your bridge. like this. See my bridge? And my knife is going just underneath the bridge. And I'm chopping in half. Like that. Fantastic. Now, we want to take out the seeds, the pith, and the green bit. So just pick it out. See this? I'm just picking it out like that. And then I've only taken out the core, and that can go in your bin bowl. Remember to keep stirring. I'm going at a pace that I hope is good for all of you guys there at home. But any comments you have, fire them through and I'll try and answer them. There we go. Okay, now the pepper. Let's start chopping it. But wait, feel this? It's wobbly, yes? So, take your pepper and squash it, chefs. Squash it. Make it nice and flat. There we go. Now, it's easier to chop because it's not wobbling. And team, make sure you chop it through the flesh first, not the skin. The skin is shiny and waxy and hard for the knife. So go through the flesh first, and you can chop this up as you like. I'm just going to go through. I'm going to chop it in half, and then make strips. Like that. Remember to be slow, guys, and remember to have your fingers tucked in. Superb. There we go. Stir the onions. The next half of my pepper. Remember, if it's wobbly, give it a press. Squash it. It's good fun to do. There we go. And just roughly chop it up. Nice and careful, nice and slow. There's no rush today. Okay, now whenever your peppers are ready, take your peppers, add them to your pan. There we go. And keep stirring, remember, every now and again, just to soften and cook the vegetables, but we want to make sure they don't burn, so keep stirring them. Now, the next ingredient that we're going to use is a carrot. And the first thing we need to do with our carrot is peel it. So it wasn't on the list, but find yourself a peeler and start peeling. The important thing when you're peeling is to peel away from you, away. So not towards you like this, but have the carrot down, take your peeler and peel away. Peel away, like this. There we go. It's all good. Fantastic. On the recipe, guys, just as I mentioned earlier, it's 3 carrots, but because this one is so large, I'm using just 1 big carrot, okay? Now, with all the ingredients we're using today, feel free to use all of them, some of them, or swap them out. With the onion, we use the white onion, but you can use a red onion, or even spring onions if that's what you've got. The pepper can be any colour. So feel free to use what you have, or what you like, or what's going off in your fridge to make sure we waste as little food as we possibly can. Now with the carrot, you can chop it if you like, but actually a good way to quickly get through this carrot is to grate it, okay? Give it a good old grating. Here we go. If you're working in pairs, you might have to take it in turns. It can get quite tiring, can't it? There you go. Keep an eye on your veg, remember. Make sure that nothing's burning. Who would have thought grating a carrot could be so tiring? Nearly there. That's it. Right. Keep your grater. We'll need it for later. Take your carrot. And in we go. As a reminder, guys, I'm using 1 big carrot. If you've got 3 small ones, use 3 small ones. Okay, now, team, whilst this cooks, just one thing I want you to do with me is to take a saucepan, like this one, and fill it up 3/4 the way with water. 3/4. And then we're going to turn this onto a high heat with a lid on. Make sure you take care when you're putting the heat on. Make sure you have an adult with you at the same time. And we're going to turn this onto a high heat. The reason is, whilst we're cooking this, we'll heat up the water, and when the water's ready, we'll add the pasta. It just saves us time whilst we're cooking. Now guys, keep giving this a good old stir on a medium-high heat. Have a look at mine. I just need to cook my carrot down a little bit, but we're getting there. And look how much veg we have in our wonderful bolognese. So much. We've got our onions, our peppers, we have our carrot as well. And we're about to add some garlic too. And guys, eating veg, it's really important for us to stay healthy. Veg has so many different nutrients and vitamins in there that are really, really good for us. And if you can, eat the rainbow, so lots of different colours. It really is important. And a dish like this is so good because you can get so many different vegetables in there. We've got our onion, our carrot, our pepper, garlic, some tomatoes as well. So this is a nice, healthy bolognese that we're stirring up. Okay, now, the next thing we're going to add, and the final piece of veg, is our garlic. Before we do, just make sure that we're nice and clean everywhere and staying nice and organised. The garlic. Okay, can you see here the root of the garlic? Just there, that root. That is what holds all the skin of the garlic together. And peeling garlic is really difficult, isn't it? So if we take away the root from the garlic, it will be a lot easier. So, first thing to do is to take that root and just cut it off, nice and carefully. And that can go in our bin bowl. Okay, guys. Now the next thing to do is to squash the garlic. You want to take your clove, carefully place your knife on top, and then just give it a squash, like that. Be really careful with it, or just give it a squash with your hands. And what you'll see is that you have your garlic clove, just like this, and if you just pinch the top, the skin comes straight off, and you're left just with the garlic. Look at that, that's saving you time. Now the garlic is a really small ingredient, so just be really careful as you chop it. Make sure your fingers are tucked away, and you just finely slice it. Take your time, guys, there's no rush. There we go. Lovely. And then, guys, we'll take our garlic, and it goes in to your spaghetti, like this. Keep stirring. And we are pretty much done, team. We are done with stage 1. Here we go. Okay, so are you with me so far, guys? If so, a big well done. Let's have a recap of where we are. This bolognese sauce, there's 3 steps to it. The first is the vegetables, and we have done all the vegetables. They're all in there, and they're all cooking. The next stage is to add our mince. That's the second stage. The final stage, the third stage, is just adding some lentils and tomatoes. That's our sauce done, and then we'll just need to pair it with our cooked pasta. Speaking of which, just behind me, or just next to you, will be a pot 3/4 full of water, and it's on a high heat, ready to boil. When it hits the boil, turn it to the lowest possible heat so that it's ready to add the pasta. Now, stage 2 of our Bolognese is our mince. Now this is a lovely veggie Bolognese today, but you could use meat if you want. Just make sure you're using a lean meat so it doesn't have a lot of fat in it. Today we're using, so on the recipe lunch list was corn mince, but I went shopping yesterday and my supermarket didn't have any corn mince. And I know that's happening to a lot of us at the moment, so what I did is I found just a different brand of mince like this. I got 300 grams of it, and what's great about these veggie minces is that they're full of protein and they don't have much fat either. And protein, remember, is really important to keep us nice and strong, keep our muscles healthy, and keep our bones healthy too. So, get your mince. We need about 350 grams of it, as a reminder, and just add it to your pan, like this. In we go. And we'll want to cook this off on a high heat for about 3 minutes. Cook this off on a high heat for 3 minutes. There we go. Have a look at this. This is starting to take shape, isn't it? Beautiful. I can see a lot of you commenting saying you're getting hungry. So am I. I'm starting to get really hungry. It's smelling good, isn't it? We're going to eat in about 15 to 20 minutes. I promise you. 15 to 20 minutes. And we'll be sitting down to eat our wonderful veggie Bolognese. Leave this to cook for a few minutes. And then what we'll do is we'll add our liquids. So there's 3 liquids that we're going to need to add. The first is passata. So passata is it's essentially sieved tomatoes. It's just tomatoes. If you don't have passata, you can use tinned tomatoes. They can be whole or they can be chopped. Or you could use fresh tomatoes if that's what you have. Today we're using passata. Now, mine's from a cardboard box, so I'm just very carefully using scissors to open it up. There we go. But if yours is from a can, be really careful about how you open it and do it with the supervision of an adult. The lids to the cans can be really sharp, sometimes sharper than a knife. So please, team, take care. Now here I have 500 grams of passata. Delicious. More vegetables. And remember, all of what we're doing this week is coming from one shopping list. This week's Bite Back lunch list. So I need passata on Tuesday, I think. No, Wednesday for our pizzas. Yes, you heard it. We're making pizza on Wednesday. So I will need 2 spoons of this on Wednesday. So guys, find yourself a small bowl, this one just here, and take 2 spoons. 1, 2, like that. Wrap this up and leave it in the fridge. We'll come back to it on Wednesday. Now I have my passata here. I hope you can hear my pan is sizzling and all of my ingredients have been fried. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my passata. Take passata, add it in really carefully. The next thing that we need to add is half of this. Remember, this is 500 grams. Half of this of water. So 250 milliliters of water. You can measure it with your eye. You don't have to be too precise about it. And that goes into here. Here's my water. Add it in like that. 250 grams. Lovely. Now, team, now that our liquids are in, let's turn this up to a high heat. High heat, okay? Because we want this to cook fast, and because there's liquid in there, there's less chance of the vegetables burning. So high heat, and we'll cook it for about 5 to 10 minutes. The final thing we need to add at this stage is our lentils, okay? These are tinned lentils. They're packed with iron and with protein too, really healthy. And what we can do is just open it really carefully. Make sure you're with an adult as you do it and take care of this lid, and then pour the whole thing in, like that. Water and all. There we go. Give this a stir, and then team, I want you to whack this onto a high heat, as I say, and we'll cook this for 5 to 10 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes. Now, step 2 is done. Step 2 is done. Okay, so we're going to move on to step 3 in a minute. But let me just show you this. Here we go. Look at that. That is looking good. Yes, a lovely, rich, thick bolognese. So we need to leave this to cook. Okay. What I'm going to do is, because I've got one hob here and one hob there, is swap my pans around. But I imagine at home you've just got your pots next to each other. This is going to stay on a high heat whilst I have my pot of boiling water just here. There we go. Lovely. Now, your pot should be boiling by now, guys. So please take care. Boiling water is really dangerous. So you have to be really careful about what you do next to this pot, and make sure you don't touch it or knock it over. What we're going to do now, whilst our bolognese cooks, is cook our pasta. So I have one portion of pasta just here. That's about 65 grams of lovely penne pasta. And all you need to do is add it to your water, like so. So I've got one portion of pasta cooking here. It's going to take a few minutes, 10 minutes. And I've got 6 portions of mince cooking just here. So with these extra portions of mince, it's up to you what you would like to do with them. You can either cook more pasta now and serve this wonderful veggie bolognese to more people in your household, or you can keep it in the fridge and use it as dinners for the rest of the week, or some of the dinners, or you can freeze some, freeze it and use it whenever you need it. Okay, well, I've got one portion of pasta here and 6 portions of bolognese just there. Now, as the pasta has gone in the pot, let's give it a stir. There we go. Now, every cooking time for pasta is different, so check the back of your packet. Mine says about 10 minutes. So the pasta has been in for 2 minutes already. Cook it for the length that your packet says, but it will probably be about 10 minutes. I'm also going to add just a squeeze of salt, just to salt the water, which slightly salts the pasta as it cooks. Now, team, we're doing really well. We've been cooking for 30 minutes and we already have a bolognese already cooked and our pasta on the go. That is quick stuff. And it's going to taste delicious and be super healthy as well. So whilst everything just continues to cook, all I'm going to do is get the final few things ready. I have cheese just here that I'm going to grate, and then we're pretty much ready to go. So with your cheese, find your grater, give it a rinse if you like, if it's got carrot on it. There we are. And let's give it a good old grate. Lovely cheddar cheese. It's my favourite thing. There we go. Nice and careful with the grater because they can be sharp. Ooh, there we go. Now today I'm using regular pasta, regular penne pasta. But if you've got wholemeal at home, next time you cook your bolognese, you can use wholemeal. Wholemeal gives you more flavour. Because it uses more of the grain than just white pasta. It uses the whole grain. And it's also got more fibre in it, so it keeps you more satisfied for longer. So when you can, guys, use wholemeal rather than white. I promise you, it's better for you, but it also has more flavour to it as well. My cheese is grated. Leave that just there. And also, when it comes to your shapes of pasta, today we're using penne. I love it because the sauce goes kind of in the middle of the pasta, but use any shapes you like for the rest of this bolognese. What's your favourite? I like penne, and I like farfalle, you know, the little bow ties. Give us a comment, guys, on which pasta is your favourite. There are hundreds out there, and I love to learn new ones. Now, let's be good chefs, okay? Think about the two things that we have on the go. We have the pasta, just here, and I'm stirring it every now and again, and of course I'm being really careful of the boiling water. And behind me, but probably next to your pot, is the bolognese. The bolognese should be bubbling away. And we want it to get nice and thick, and nice and rich, and nice and delicious. So keep stirring it every minute, and keep watching it. When it's thick, it's ready. It should only take another 5 minutes or so. So guys, how are you finding things so far? I hope you're keeping up with me. We've got a lot of wonderful recipes that we're going to cook this week. So today, of course, we've got our lovely veggie bolognese. Tomorrow, what are we cooking? We're cooking wonderful quesadillas, delicious Mexican dish, one of my favourites. On Wednesday, we're going to be cooking pizza, incredible. We're going to make lovely pizza. On Thursday, we have a wonderful rainbow salad, and on Friday, it's egg fried rice. What a selection, what a menu. And as I say, everything that we're cooking is coming from the single bite back lunch list that you would have found online. If you don't have access to that lunch list, the link is in our comments just below. And guys, as you're cooking, please do continue to give us a comment in YouTube and take pictures, tag us on @biteback2030 or #CookWithJack. I have seen some incredible work from you over the weekend and last week. A particular shout out to Roxanne, to Aaron, to Jessica, to Sophia, and to Nicole. You guys have cooked amazing stuff. I've loved watching your work. It looked delicious. A big well done. And if you'd like a shout out, guys, just tag us with your creations. I really love to see the work, and then I'll give you some feedback on the next Cook with Jack. Okay, so the pasta probably has 5 minutes or so left. I'm going to add my lid on just to make sure it is boiling. Whilst the pasta is cooking, let's be good little chefs at home and start clearing down where we can. So, any utensils you're not using, put them all together next to the sink or in the sink, ready to wash up. There we go. And any mess you've made, take your cloth and just give it a clean, like this. Give everything a clean. There we go. Fantastic. So that everything is nice and neat, nice and organised, and there isn't a big explosion of food in the kitchen. Now, how do we tell when our pasta is cooked? So the the instructions on the packet is usually a very good guide. But if you want to make sure, you can taste the pasta. Take a little piece out, let it cool down, and taste it to see when it's ready. Because everyone likes their pasta cooked differently. Some people like it really well done. I like mine al dente. Al dente, which means to the tooth. It means it has a little bit of a bite to it. I prefer that because then I can feel the pasta more and I chew it for longer. So I actually eat slower and I find it more enjoyable. But you cook your pasta to how you like, and if you're not sure, take a spoon, very carefully, ask an adult to help. Take one piece of pasta, put it on your board, make sure you let it cool down. I know you're hungry. And then cut off a little piece and give it a taste. Okay, we're 2 minutes away. 2 minutes away. So let's get a plate. Here we go. Fantastic. Let's get everything nice and organised. Lovely. And let me show you my my pasta. Sorry, my bolognese. Put this just here. There we go. Look at this. See this here? Let me show you closer up. That is a proper bolognese. Beautiful. Really thick, really rich. It should be meaty and hearty and a little bit sweet from the tomatoes. Feel free at this point to give it a taste. Take a little spoon. Make sure it's not boiling hot. And give it a try. Oh my goodness, that is delicious. Amazing. I cannot believe that we've cooked this incredible bolognese in just 35 minutes and our pasta is almost ready and we have our cheese grated as well. Now, I like some pepper in my food, so I'm going to add some pepper. Yeah. You don't have to if you don't wish. As always, guys, you are the chefs at home. You make your food as you like. And it's time to drain our pasta. Okay? So, we need a colander in the sink. And guys, this bit, you need to get an adult to do this for you because we're going to take boiling water and put it through the sieve in a sink. So please get some help, get an adult to do this for you to make sure we stay as safe as possible. We're going to drain the pasta and then we're going to add some bolognese into the pot with the pasta. So first of all, take your pot of pasta and drain it in your colander in your sink. I'm going to do that off camera just now. There we go. And what you need to do is add your pasta back to your colander like this. There we go. Now I've got my lovely shiny pasta just in here. And what they're asking for is the wonderful sauce. So, in we go. Remember, this sauce is for 6 portions for 4 to 10-year-olds. So use 1/6 of the sauce. That will be it. And then we're going to cook it just for 30 seconds to bring it all together, and then we're done. And as I say, guys, with the rest of the bolognese, refrigerate it for lovely dinners coming up this week. Gift it to a friend or freeze it for whenever you need it later on. Let me get this out of the way. And let me show you this incredible pasta. Look at that. There we go. That is an incredible veggie penne bolognese cooked in 40-45 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve this up very carefully, pouring your pasta onto your plate like that. And I'm going to add a grating of cheese, lovely cheddar cheese. There we go. A dash of pepper. And there we go. Chefs, team, our bolognese is ready. Have a look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? Oh my goodness. And think about how much veg we have in here. We've got our onions, our garlic, our carrots, our red pepper. We've got tomatoes, we've got lentils, we've got wonderful, healthy corn mince. It's really delicious. So, team, chefs, that is your wonderful, very veggie bolognese cooked in 4 to 5 minutes. A big well done to you. That's a lot of hard work done very quickly. So well done. I hope you enjoy your lunch. I'm going to stop talking now so that you can enjoy your lunch. But just before I go, 3 things. Remember, good luck at home and tag us and at BiteBack2030 or hashtag CookWithJack. Remember, you can check out this week's shopping list. There'll be a link in the comments just below. And finally, guys, give us a like, give us a subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. We'll be back here, same place, same time, 12 o'clock tomorrow, when we're going to be cooking incredible quesadillas. It's a beautiful dish, and I can't wait to show it to you. For now, enjoy your lunch. You deserve it. Have a great day, and I'll see you back here, same time, tomorrow. Cheers. Good luck. Bye-bye.